Hello and welcome to another episode of Outta Stanton, where sleepy masochist and not so sleepy Just Check are going to hopefully, for Maso's sake, have the shortest episode of Outta Stanton ever. That's it. We're done. Well,
We should literally just cut the video there and post it.
Well, we
Just
can't
'cause-
because 313 is out, so we actually have to talk about something.
That would be funny, though. It would be funny if we just posted like a 30-second.
Yep.
Man, we have so many April Fool's ideas.
We just don't
So
have enough
many.
April 1st.
Yeah.
And then when we had it,
one
we
this
didn't do
year.
anything.
Yeah.
Anyways, we decided to change things a little bit. And instead of
Just slightly.
going to news first, we want to, add what we did in the game or in other games throughout the last week before going into the news. So that we can like mash it with the intro kind of. I'm not going to because why? Because we keep getting back and forth, right?
Well, yes, but also, and the reason we're doing this is because we actually both played the game this week. So
that is true. Like everyone else probably who is playing or following Star Citizen, the new patch came out, 313, and with it, not many things. But it's just not the excuse not to try playing the game, right?
Yeah.
But before we dive into that, I am going to, tell you guys that we actually have Sleepy Maso this time, and he's working on 3 hours sleep.
Yep.
And I am so grateful that he actually decided to do the podcast because I really enjoy it. Have some understanding.
I struggle with mental health as well, and I just had kind of like a weird situation. I'm always up early for work, so I never use an alarm. My body just wakes me up when it's time to get up for work. It's kind of weird, but sometimes my brain gets a hold of it and does crazy shit and wakes me up when I don't have to get up and earlier than usual, and then will not let me get back to sleep. So that happened last night, and I'm not doing so great, but
then you might have played Valheim a little bit too late.
Semi-conscious, yes, yeah, well, yeah. So I guess that's kind of like what we did during the week. But my brother picked up Valheim, so I went through and started a dedicated server or whatever, and started fresh. And of course, like there's a lot of knowledge that you have to kind of like impart on somebody, and we stayed up way too late for me, and then combine that with the like surprise, you can't sleep now. I'm a little bit, well, as I said in the tweet, my brain isn't firing on all cylinders, so bear with me a little bit. This episode I'm probably going to be barely coherent,
which is good because he's going to agree with me on everything. Probably.
I don't have the energy to fight, so yeah. But yeah, I did actually jump into Star Citizen for 313, and one of the good things I have to say about it is it seems really stable. I didn't have any 30Ks. I know that with every Star Citizen patch, this is a subjective experience, because I have heard that a lot of people are really struggling with stability, and but for me it was great. Not great, but like, the servers were doing okay. The AI was sort of responsive, and I didn't have any disconnection issues. I played solid for 2.5 hours or so, and had no disconnects. But
I had the same experience. I played the day the patch happened. I played on my own, and then the day after, which was Friday, I think, I streamed it for about 4 hours or so and did not have a single technical difficulty. But I was about to say that, the patch is so good and everything, but isn't that what happens every time when they...
No. Usually, a lot of people actually used to wait for the .1 patch before
Yeah.
jumping in because
Okay,
the
fair.
initial rollout of a patch was usually just like the most unstable, frustrating
Uh,
experience. But I guess in this case, they kept it in PTU for almost a month before it should have been out, or past when it should have been out. So
I also
maybe that
wonder
has something
if
to do with it.
if people are just not logging in for 313.
Possible. That would be something that would be interesting to see, like the concurrent players, because I
Yeah.
do know that like
It feels like a lot of, content creators are not hyping it because it's a little bit difficult to hype this patch.
well that's kind of it. That's where I was gonna go next, in that I played for 2 and a bit hours, tried a quantum sensitive delivery, did a bit of bounty hunting, looked at a list of what else has been added in the game, and said,
Same game.
okay, same old game, and I'm gonna go play Valheim now.
Yeah.
Like, so I mean I'm still gonna give it a little bit more. I do want to go into the caves, but the reason that I wasn't feeling like I needed to go check out the new caves is because I've seen them. I've seen them in all the preview videos. I've seen them in people's streams
Yeah.
throughout PTU for a month.
And they're not
Um,
what I really want anyways.
yeah,
Same
yeah,
with
yeah.
asteroids.
That's
Remember we were talking about how I was actually hyped about asteroids and then realizing
mm,
that these are asteroids only around Lagrange points. I'm
yep,
like,
yep, yep.
that's not what I'm
I
here
should go
for.
check those out. But that's the thing, right? Like
I
I
watched
like
Tomato's video. I saw exactly how they look in the game.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. Like, and I know that they've done a lot of like polish passes on a lot of the other planets and stuff like that,
Yellow looks
and they're
really good,
pretty.
man.
And I should go look at them, but ultimately, it's kind of like I didn't feel like just going someplace to look, so I just quit. Yeah. Um,
Visually, I see like Yella is so good, and we talked about Tomato talking about these frozen lakes, and holy moly, they did something with elevation as well, and you can see it like the little houses like being on uneven ground, the points
hmm,
of interest wherever,
yeah.
and then the ice being like cracked under you and
Oh, that's
landing your
cool.
ship there and whatnot. It actually looks freaking good. Yeah, I
I'm sure
did.
it looks good.
Yeah.
Star Citizen always looks good. That's never been something I've questioned, right? Like,
Well,
but
I
yeah,
mean, you know what I mean? Like the change is there, you can see it and you're like, "Ooh, this is cool." That's
yeah.
what I mean more than, we know Star Citizen looks good obviously when it when
So,
it looks good. So I did the same. I did quantum missions, quantum sensitive missions, quite a lot of them, over 10, because that was my
I didn't do that
main.
many.
I know. We're gonna talk about that later, but like that's what I was super hyped for. And I'm not gonna tell you how I feel about them yet, because that's going to be our
Okay.
topic. Oh, actually,
I'm
imagination
gonna tell
station.
you I'm gonna tell you one thing, and that is the one thing I discovered while doing a very long distance flight across Hurston, like 2,000 kilometers ish. Do not do that in an MSR, because the MSR, when you're in a gravity field, constantly noses down. There is
Mm.
no way to fly straight and level in an MSR. And that's why one of the notes we have here is, oh my God, when the control surfaces are in, please, CIG, add the ability to apply trim to our
I hope trim
to
is
to our game
their
here. And what
idea.
we mean by trim is basically like in the situation where, like I said, my MSR at 30 or 40,000 meters constantly wants to nose down into thicker atmosphere. I had to, for that entire 2,000-kilometer trip, hold the joystick back slightly just to keep me flying straight and level. And in most other, well, in modern aircraft, basically you can just basically do that and then push a button and it locks your control
It,
surfaces at a
trim is a
certain.
thing in older planes as well.
Yeah, yeah,
And in
yeah.
all flight sims and whatnot, literally you set up your trim to like keep your nose basically in a
Yes, yeah,
certain way. Some people want it to sink or go up slightly and then modify with a joystick, but you can actually set it up so that it goes like
yeah.
straight and then you can, right.
And in my case, I just wanted to fly straight and I
Yeah.
just couldn't. So if
Yeah,
you're
I did it.
doing long distance flights, I would say don't do it in an MSR.
I can't remember what was the first ship I did it in, but then I got myself a Mantis because I loved the interior of that ship and the cockpit. And yeah, we'll talk about that. But like that was a pleasant experience, somewhat.
Mm.
Can't remember what the first one I was doing it when.
Would have been a lot more pleasant if I could have like actually gone and just like looked around for a bit and not had to be constantly watching to see if
Yeah,
I'm nosing down
true.
into thicker atmosphere.
I want to do
You
it in
know?
Terrapin though. I really want to do it in Terrapin. That's like my goal. Anyways, we'll touch on that later. But yeah, we did play the game. I played some ECN alerts. I played some other things,
Mm.
but yeah, more on that
I
later as
guess
well. But like,
more on that later. Yep. We're
yeah,
doing the thing. Remember how we were like,
yeah,
we should we should switch
exactly.
these two sections around because we constantly say, well, we'll talk about this later. And
True.
now that we did that, we're literally
It's
saying this
broken.
exact thing.
We
Yeah.
can't fix it. Well,
Okay, move
let's
on to
go to the
news.
news. Exactly. Yeah. So the news, the first thing that we're gonna say, obviously, 313 is up. For those who don't know, maybe I did
Life
not expect it to
specifically.
get to live yet because there's some known issues that are brutal.
I don't
Especially
think they
like,
could postpone any longer. Like
yeah, I guess.
we're literally at the end of April. It was supposed to be out at the end of March. You know, I think at this point they just like fuck it, put it to live.
I would say more
And
than ever, read the patch notes if you're gonna play. A lot of things have been changed, and there are some serious known issues that you kind of want to avoid. But go through. There's a lot. I don't want to like do the whole episode on that. There are people who do that. Probably Nubifier will do it. Super Mac Brother and Tomato and who everyone does it basically. So yeah. So let's start with some things. So we got reputation system in. Um. Well, we had reputation already, right, with last patch, but now it's visualized.
yep.
However, I don't know why they went. The name is Delphi. We have a bookstore that is very famous here in Serbia. It's called Delphi, and it has
Oh,
like three
that has
dolphins, like in almost like Ouroboros, sign.
something to do with I don't know. There's a that's a historical reference, and I can't remember exactly why they're using it, but
Okay, fair.
because my brain
Anyways,
doesn't work right now.
it's called Delphi, and you'll see three little dolphins in the bottom, and that's where your uh, reputations are. However, when you get into the game and you go there, there's nothing. It's empty. And mine is still empty after 10 hours of playing. It's still empty, which
Wait, really?
is, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's because you didn't do any bounties or any missions for mission givers,
Yes, because
which is
I'm sick of doing that, and I was hoping
yep.
that something else will affect it,
Yeah, I
but
kind of gave
nothing
up
will.
on that. I kind of gave up on that, but I was the same way. I was like really hoping that like, doing illegal surveillance missions would increase your
I was
rep
doing
with
that.
whoever system you're
Yeah.
doing. I was hoping that delivery missions, but like that's not in. Literally all this system is a visualization of the reputation system that we had through all of 312.
Well, true, but
The
I
only
thought more affects it. So, for example, let me tell
no.
you why. So, for example, I logged in, I saw there's nothing there, which I feel like it should be there. You know, blank. And when you hover, it then tells you what to do to increase or decrease
Mm,
reputation. Because it's stupid. It's like that. Whatever. Hopefully they're gonna change it because I don't feel like that's a good idea. But maybe they're going that way where like before you meet someone you don't know that they exist or whatever the fuck.
yes.
But then come on, everyone
However,
knows UE exists.
well, exactly. There should be some basic. Well, and again, I think that's ultimately it. Like, right, this is just a
First iteration,
visualization
right?
of the system that's already there. But like, but yes, absolutely. Like when you jump into Hurston's system and it says like, jurisdiction, Hurston Dynamics or
Yeah,
whatever, that should immediately populate on your reputation
I
tracker.
agree.
Ditto with like Crusader, with Microtech, with ArcCorp, like that. And I imagine that's probably how it's going to end up. But that's yeah. Right now, it's literally not a new system. It's just a visualization of what we have had for the past quarter
Well, here's the
bit.
thing. Okay, so let me try and explain this. I thought that more than just completing or not completing the mission affects like prior to visualization will affect
Mm,
your standing because you are also, let's say you take call to arms and you kill like everything, or you don't, right? So I took call to arms, I did surveillance missions, I did ECN, which basically is helping against pirates, and none of this affects any of the standings. They don't even show
No.
up. That's what I'm saying. So I did not expect, new stuff. Like, I wish missions were there, but I knew it's not going to happen, except for like if they sneak it in, but obviously they didn't. But I thought more affects your regular
Oh
reputation.
man,
That's all.
I'm gonna be. I guess I'm just gonna be salty, and I'm just gonna say, you know what? I betcha this is the reputation system that we're gonna be stuck with for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah,
I don't think they're gonna iterate on it. I
I don't
hope
think so
I
either.
hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
We'll
And
do.
I hope it's something like I hope it's something like mining where they just like rapidly iterate on it because it's working and it actually has the potential to really change the way that people play the game. But if they're following what most developers do in an alpha situation, they get the feature in, they verify that it's working, and then they move on to other stuff.
Yeah.
It's why we still have prisons in the state that they're in.
Oh yeah, we have prisons. I forgot about that. The thing that you want to avoid any way possible.
Yeah, because it's mostly broken. And except on the random situation that is not. But yeah, okay, whatever. I'm just
But even
tired
when
and
it's
grumpy.
not broken, it's just not a good experience. Which is the same with these reputations for, I don't know. And people, I mean, I've watched a couple of videos past 313 going live, and people like, this will change the game and whatnot. I don't know, man. I'm so bored of doing the bounty hunting missions that I'm not even going to see the reputations. Honestly,
Well,
I
that's
just don't
it.
care about it.
Like if the reputation system included what you said, which was an expansion of the reputation
Yeah,
to a point where your actions outside of missions affected your reputation, different sorts of missions affect your reputation, I would agree with that statement. It will change the way that people play the game. But in the situation that we're in right now, where it's literally just the building blocks view of the reputation that we've already had for 3+ months. No, it's not going to change the game. It's
do you
the
think?
exact fucking same game.
I think it would be better if they did not even push the reputation before
Oh,
visualization, so that they can have it at the same time. I think that would have been a better impact.
unless they did it because they needed to get the system working before they could design the graphics for it, which is
They could have designed the graphics to work, you know, not so good. They could have live tweaked the graph, whatever. I think that would have been better,
sure.
because now you bring this and everyone's so hyped about it, and then in reality, everyone will understand that nothing.
Welcome to Star Citizen, bud. I don't know.
I know, yeah.
Like I
Um,
just like this is nothing new to me. I sound saltier about it than I actually am because I'm just used to this. But yeah, yeah, I don't know. Anyways, we should probably move on.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so the next big thing that came into the game is new shields, STF shields, which now look proper, but they're not implemented in the game, only visually. So yeah. I don't know.
Wait,
Wait,
wait, wait,
what?
wait, wait, wait.
Wait.
Y-
It's only the
I thought
visuals.
I thought we determined that it wasn't actually just the visuals
It seems
because
like it
it
is.
it had plugged up all the shield holes and stuff like that. See, you were of the impression that it was going to make ships a lot harder to kill, and I never really thought that.
Oh my
I
god.
mean, insofar
Ship
as
time
like,
to kill right now is, I feel like it's faster than it was. With Pisces, I was melting NPC ships in like it's disgusting.
yeah, but I feel like in a lot of cases that's because well, one, most of them hold still and let you shoot them, and two, their components are garbage. Like I guess in some cases, like against constellations and stuff like that, obviously you're scoring hits through shield holes. Same thing with Buccaneers, um,
Hmm.
but like I never expected SDF shields to make everything tougher or like harder to kill.
Well, I did because of shield holes, nothing else.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
like those
nothing
shield
matters
holes
if you
are
hit the shield hole.
Sure, but like, how many ships are like have rampant shield holes that you fight often in?
A7, a Constellation, a Buccaneer,
Wait, what was the first one? The
uh,
the Hornet?
Hornet. Yeah.
Don't really see those that much.
What?
Buccaneer does, to
I
be
fight
fair, but
Hornets all the time. They have a very specific
oh yeah,
explosion
you
as well.
do. Oh, 100%. Oh, you mean you fight Hornets?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, that's right. Actually, now that you mention it, they have that double explosion that always
Yeah.
tricks you because
Yes.
their tail explodes off, and you're like, haha, I got them,
And they
and they're
keep
like,
flying.
well, JK. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. But
More than half of
like,
them are with shield
I don't
holes.
know. Most of the time, I'm killing NPC ships on the first pass, anyways, and then I'm still
Yeah,
just
but what are you
killing
flying?
NPC ships on the first. Warden, Talon,
Yeah, I'm flying
Gladius.
Pisces, brother. And
Okay, fair enough.
Aurora. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. Like, I was demolishing things in Pisces. And I'm like, that's with the new shields. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, I still think they're working. I mean, Cameral's tests seem to indicate that they're mostly
I
working, with
don't know if they use
few
them on
exceptions.
NPCs. Maybe just on player ships. I don't know.
Oh, maybe because it does. No, I don't know. There's that tag. There's the thing in the 314 release view that shows like a tab where it talks about like converting legacy shield tech. So maybe the NPCs are that. I
From
don't
what
know.
I've heard from some other videos on YouTube, is that we only got the visuals and the rest is the
Well,
same
that's what it
old.
was supposed to be initially, and then there was this whole confusion about whether or not, excuse me,
It's
that was
confusing
actually the case.
because someone is testing it and it's not. It's obviously performing better
Well, yeah, and
on player.
Jared specifically said on like a
Oh yeah,
video,
true.
like, SDF shields are in 313. So yeah, it's this whole it's a
It's
clusterfuck.
yeah. They look better. That's it. Like the worst
They do
part
look
of
better.
everything is when I'm playing and I encounter Eclipse and she has like size 10 shield on her. You remember? And you fight Eclipse and her shield is like, I don't know,
Oh,
30 meters
right.
away, like all
Right.
over the
Yeah, yeah,
place, and
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah. Right.
what is this? So all that
Well,
looks better now.
it does look way better too, like when you're taking fire. I
Mm,
have to say, like,
I
your
agree.
vision is so much less obstructed, and that does feel a lot better. Like, I don't feel
Here
like I'm just
we
basically
might
firing on instruments.
I might tell you something that initially you might disagree, and then you'll be like, probably I agree. Where I don't really, I fly mostly samey ships. Where if I'm fighting with a hawk, and I'm so used to how the shields get bashed when they're firing at me that I'm not even noticing it anymore, like the old way.
Um,
And I do rely on my instruments, of course. I mean, you
the
follow
the
Pip, dude, and you fly. That's what it is.
sure you do, but it's nice to not like, it's nice to still be able to see stuff
It's
because
a
it
good
definitely
addition.
is an
I did not
issue.
even notice it. I know because we talked about it so much and our people do,
Yeah,
but I
I
really
did
did not
notice.
notice that much of a difference. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's good. It's good. Yeah. I mean, I'm all
Well,
up
it's
for
just
new
because,
shields.
like,
They look good. They
the the old way, right? Like, especially when you're flying something with the cockpit right up front, saber, which would be the same case with the hawk. But like, yeah, like your
everything.
whole, like, it'd be like 30% of your view would be obstructed by a
Which is
shield
why
hit.
you never even look at that. You're just looking at the Pip,
Well, and
and
I don't
Pip is not
either.
obstructed.
Sure. Oh,
But let me tell you
absolutely.
something,
But
actually, Maso. You're not right. Because it's a complete shit show now with degradation. Every ship I was flying, I can't see anything after one mission, delivery mission, or one quantum jump. My windshield
interesting.
is so smudged that I can't. It doesn't matter what the fuck shield I have on me, and that's
I
what I
didn't know
said.
that.
So what I have
I
here.
Oh,
So
degradation,
ship
right?
degradation
Yeah.
over the top, almost funny because literally you do one jump in Pisces, you can't see shit. But I really don't. I don't know, man. We don't have Vipers. It's like ridiculous. Like
I didn't notice that at all. That's really funny.
because not
Like
every ship has it. Not every ship has
yeah, that
it. So
must be it. That
yeah,
must
yeah.
be it. Because I
There's a
flew
list of ships that have it.
MSR, Warden, and Talon. and obviously the Talon wouldn't have it because it's digital, like
Yeah,
it's not actually glass.
yeah.
Uh,
Which now makes it
Warden, I
maybe
didn't notice,
more
so
important
maybe it's
because if this is how we're gonna fly around, I mean, it's like driving a car in the mud without wipers. It's
hmm,
ridiculous. You don't see anything
well, yeah.
after
I mean,
5 minutes of playing.
okay, that does seem a little bit on the ridiculous side, though. In
Yeah,
their defense, they did say that they were going to increase it because, like, they realized that literally every time you repair, it resets that.
sure, but
So,
it's something I talked about before, where I really don't want glass or cockpit because we are using it. That's the way the game is. It's gamified, right? Cockpits are not where cockpits in spaceships would be, as we know, and all that. They're
mhm,
open. You can see them. Why not gamify it to a point where you your your cockpit, maybe like physical damage, should obstruct it. If there's a fucking bullet
yeah,
hole or whatever.
yeah,
But other than that, like, just don't. And we would have some kind of technology to keep it clean, man. It's not, you know what I mean? Like, that's
that's
so
true.
the rest looks good.
Yeah,
I crashed a little uh Pisces while flying low, delivering the quantum
because it's
sensitive
sensitive
cargo.
cargo.
Yeah, and oh my god, I have some screenshots on my Discord. Holy crap, dude. And I was like, oh my god, this will cost more than a ship. And I came to Port Olisar to repair, and it was like
Yeah,
70,
yep,
yeah. And it couldn't
that's gonna
repair it. That's
change.
funny. Like, it cleaned like almost everything, but like right side under the wing, it was
Oh yeah,
still
I'm looking
screwed
at them
up.
right now. Oh, I'm looking at it. That actually looks really good.
It
That
looks
does
good.
look
It
really
looks good.
good.
So my only concern about this is cockpit. I think that should
Yeah.
be gamified, and don't worry, like, because
I just don't think it'll be I just don't think it'll be I from what they've said, I don't think you'll notice it except in like extreme scenarios. Like you left your Gladius sitting on the surface of Daymar for like a week. or or you flew through a dust storm
so
for like 4 hours solid. Like
let's put it this way: when humans invented a car, after the first rain, they invented some kind of window wiping.
sure, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Then when
I
they
mean
wait,
I mean
wait,
the damage.
when they invented lights on the car, some companies are actually making light wipers, even, which is nowadays a normal thing, right? Planes have wipers. So if you
Yeah.
are going to smudge our screens, and I don't think this is so. This was happening throughout the quantum jumps, for example, which kind of makes sense because you're like going super fast and like things are, whatever particles, which it should. Okay,
Not
again,
really.
not really, but let's say it makes sense. I mean, it does really, because if you started from atmosphere, if you start from atmosphere,
I mean, at least like from a scientific perspective, when you are compressing space like that, you're not you're not actually running into stuff because you're not technically moving through space. It's
yeah, this whole
it's
thing. Okay,
yeah,
this is why
it's
we don't
I mean,
do that.
you are kind of, but
I think you
also
still need
not
some kind of
really.
super good acceleration to get to that point or something where you would
This is
probably collect all the flies, birds,
well,
and all
this
the rest.
I mean, I think that like we're just gonna have to accept that it's gamified and that doesn't happen because the other alternative is it also wouldn't happen in the way we understand the way a spatial compression drive would work right now. But the way we understand that as well right now is that all those particles, all that radiation gets like stored up on the front of that bubble. And then when you come out of that drive mode, it basically just fires them all straight forward like a high intensity radiation beam. So
Well,
it's gamified.
the way it works now is it's not good when it comes to cockpits. And if you guys are going to tell me
it's
that it's not happening to you, well,
it's
try
just not
flying
on your ship.
Pisces and
Yeah.
you'll see what I'm talking about. And
I'm
do
gonna.
like
I
three
would
jumps,
yeah,
do
I'd like
one
to.
delivery mission, and that's it. You can't see anything anymore.
Yeah. Hopefully
Um,
they dial it back like in fact, hopefully they dial it back like at 3.13.1 even. Like just a touch. Like obviously they want it to be accelerated because they're trying to like,
Testing it, right?
test it.
I
But
just don't know, because even the dirtiest cars in Belgrade, where I live, windows are clean if they're being driven. The rest of the car is like, this should not be road legal. You know what I mean? Like, like people
yeah.
still clean their windows. So I don't know, man. It's kind of stupid, but it's fine. I mean, I guess it's one of those things where they're going to see people reacting to it and be like, "Oh fuck, this is
Yeah.
not what
I've
should
seen this
happen."
happen because the whole like windshield glass degradation thing has been something that they've been kind of like fucking around with for years now.
I don't even
To
think
the
this is
point,
degradation, though. I think it's just dirt.
well, it's wear and tear. It's part of the degradation system, is it not?
I think
It's just different.
that's also, when they were starting to like explain their interior, like if you are flying through a
Yeah,
place
yeah,
where
yeah,
there's like
yeah,
desert and whatnot, so
yeah.
this will affect
Part of the
how.
same system. It's
Yeah,
part of the same system.
that's what I'm saying. I think this
Um,
is just dirt, not really
mm.
on the windshield, not the rest. The rest is, I mean, if I bang my ship,
Oh, I
obviously
gotcha.
that's
Right.
that's
Okay.
damage. That's
Okay.
not.
Bear
Yeah.
with me. Yeah.
No, you're good. You're good. All right. So, quantum
Oh, VoIP.
sensitive missions. Wait, we
No. Oh.
skipped quantum sensitive missions. They
Oh.
are in
Okay.
the
That's
game,
right.
and also apparently are the time sensitive ones. I haven't seen any of those. Have you seen
I
any?
haven't either. No.
Yeah.
I only saw the quantum sensitive one.
Yeah, I don't know if they're. We did test quantum sensitive one. We will talk about that in Imagination Station quite a lot. I have some good and some bad things to say about it, as usual, but they are in the
I'm
game,
kind of
definitely.
surprised by that, especially for you, because like you did 10, and I
Yes.
could see them being kind of like, if not reputation locked, then like, something that's available to you after you do a certain amount. Because that was the case with I don't know if you remember, do you remember the old FTL missions?
Y- Yes. No.
Okay, well,
Yes.
and I don't
These
know
are
if this
delivery
was just
ones, right? So the
yeah, yeah,
FTL
delivery
ones were
mission.
the rooftops.
The super high paying ones.
I remember. Yeah, yeah.
But
Well, you
and I
had
don't
to
know if this
do.
was a bug or what, but you had to do some other missions before
Yes,
those FTL
Obelix.
ones even popped
Yes.
up in your
I think that
mission
was
log.
like their first try of.
Yeah. So for me, what I thought when I didn't see the time sensitive ones was like, oh, I just have to do more delivery missions and then I'd see them. But you did
There's
10.
more, but I did all 10 on Crusader,
Yeah.
and Crusader gives you a completely different type of a mission than Hurston does. Where on
Hmm.
Crusader, you get a mission on any of the moons. You pick up two packages. It's always two packages, and you deliver them. The distance is between 300. Well, depending how far the stations are, but usually 3 plus 300 or something like that kilometers, or 3 plus 600, or while and they're kind of easier to do because Daymar has atmosphere, but then Yela and
Yeah,
Stellim
you can just
are
you're
so
basically in
thin.
vacuum.
Yeah, you can full speed like next to the ground. So
Mm.
that's what I was doing, which we'll touch on, right? But the Kirsten ones you did was completely different. It's 20. Oh yeah, and they paid 10,000. The
Yeah.
Hurston ones are 20,000, one box,
Yeah. But a long
much
distance.
longer distance. And then if
Yeah.
you're on Hurston itself, then that's planet atmosphere, right?
Yeah.
So it takes
Yeah. You
shitloads
have
of
to come
time.
up to like 30,000 meters to like reach your top speed. So
Yeah, but they're there. You can test them. You can play with them. They
yeah.
work.
Don't use an MSR, like I
Yeah.
said.
The next one, Voip.
Yeah.
They said they're working on Voip. I just watched today Tomatoes video. They were testing it, and it doesn't work properly. There's some issues with
Which
it.
which again, like we were talking about this a little bit in the pre-show. Something that wasn't clear on that
Yeah,
ISC about the sound designers was because they said, oh, these VoIP fixes we
next
just worked
patch,
on
right?
should be in your next update, but they didn't specify whether or not it was 3.13 or 3.14.
Yeah, because 313
And
was already in PTU for a while, so
yeah, and
maybe.
Jared didn't follow the question up as usual, which is kind of its own issue. But yeah, so
It's
the only
becoming
thing I
his
can think
feature.
of, yeah, the only thing I can think of is that maybe they meant 314.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of.
We had some conversations in the comments about Voip, and I'm not really interested in it. But you know what? If it's in the game, I want it to be good rather than bad. So I will
Yeah.
always follow through with it, and yeah, I don't know, sometimes maybe use it or whatever. But
I don't always want to use it, but like I have had some good
or-
experiences with it, and I want it to be a thing for sure.
I just want to
So long as
clarify one thing where because of the comments and um, there's difference between VoIP. Okay, so there's difference between hailing someone and how do we call that? Proximity
proximity
chat,
chat.
right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I am not really interested in proximity chat at all. Hailing someone, however, I think it's very, very important. And I think it's extremely important that when you get hailed, you have to react to it, either answering or not, like, or, canceling the call. Because that's going to be your interaction with the pirate who might offer ransom. And then if you click no, well, guess what? That's your choice, right? You
Yeah. Yeah.
basically denied the conversation. Get fucked. And I'm okay with that. With the proximity chat, I don't know, because yeah, let's not. We talked about this, so I just wanted to say that for me is crucial. I think the game needs to have it. Proximity chat, I'm not interested in, but hey, if people want it, I mean, it's being developed, so we'll have it. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alrighty. Okay,
Um,
so Arrow and Gladius have
this was
been,
news to me. This was news to me.
yeah, they've been beaked. Probably some other ships as well. They're very slow and they're very lazy, less agile than they used to be.
See,
Um,
and what I want to know is this intentional or is this a bug?
I don't know. So I talked to Chrono, who we had on the show before, and he's a low flyer, and he said that he tested almost every ship on PTU and figured out that 350R seems to be the best low flying ship right now. Um, when you talk to like other people who are doing any kind of brawling, 1v1s, stuff like that, those guys that some of you hate for not letting you fly freely around Port Olisar, you will not see them in arrows anymore. The new meta, if you want to call it, for 313 right now is a Buccaneer, and I don't
That
think anyone expected that.
Nope, I sure didn't. And honestly, I think that's cool
It
because
is
I
cool.
don't think the Buccaneer has ever had its day.
You know what's even more cool? That these guys are kind of on a bullying side, and they're flying a proper pirate
A proper bully
scrap
ship.
ship,
Yeah. Yeah,
So it's
I
kind of
like it.
cool.
The Arrow and the Gladius, I'm gonna have to go and play around with this, but part of me wonders if this is something that people are just gonna have to get used to. Um,
Yeah,
because
I think everything's
because
going to be dialed down.
well, yeah, I mean, ultimately, like even an arrow is still a chunk of metal that weighs thousands of kilograms.
Oh, that's a
You know,
big thing, man. It's bigger than a fighter jet IRL, and these are heavy.
an arrow? Oh, I don't know. Arrows are real small.
Oh, come on, bro.
Gladius
But
for
but
sure.
think about the end. It has
Oh yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
quantum drive,
The
right?
mass for
It
sure.
has to
Yeah,
be heavier
yeah,
than what we have now
totally.
flying
Yeah,
around.
and that's where I kind of wonder if just like, I want to know like, is this an intentional thing or is this a bug? Is this like atmospherics not behaving properly? Is this thrusters not behaving properly? Because like, there's a system that actually adjusts the like efficiency of your thrusters depending on where you are, be it space or atmosphere. So like, is that broken? Like, is that why
I
the
would
arrow feels like
I
shit,
would
or
think
are
that
they trying to?
I think it's on the path to becoming what it's supposed to be. Maybe
Maybe.
you know.
I mean, ultimately, you are flying a fighter. Like, go watch a video where somebody's flying an F-16, like one of the most maneuverable planes out there, and it's still like a plane. Like you can't just flip that thing over end for end. You know what I mean? So
I think the only
yeah,
planes. Well, before we started the show, I showed you some footage of me flying one of those um
yeah, the acrobatic like
acrobatic plane.
plane. Yeah,
Like these things can flip, but not even they cannot flip as fast as an arrow. Like,
yeah.
you know what I
I mean,
mean?
you're subject to the aerodynamics, right? And
I think that
like
has to. We still have to wait for all the parts on the ships to be
totally, yeah.
affected to judge this.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I think at the end of the day, I want and I think it should feel like you are flying a heavy chunk of metal with rockets attached to it instead of something that like responds instantly, and can like completely basically defy gravity. But I mean, I will also preface all this by saying I haven't actually played with the Arrow or the
I didn't
Gladius in
either.
atmosphere yet, so I
Well,
don't know. I don't know how it feels. Like if it feels broken, then obviously I'm not in favor of it. But
well,
yeah.
here's the thing:
Anyways,
the info that we have is from people who are overusing arrows, right? Both in
yes,
Atmo
yeah.
and out of the Atmo. So I haven't. I'm not an arrow pilot.
No,
I don't even
honestly,
have it. I mean, I have it.
I I have an Arrow, but I don't really like them because I've never really liked the way they looked.
I kind of dig the
And
way it looks until I pop my landing gear, and when I see the landing gear, it just
well, that is something.
yeah,
I like a Gladius. I just think looks like pretty epic when it's down on a pad,
yeah,
and an Arrow just feels like I don't know.
yeah.
It just doesn't do it for me. It just doesn't do it for me. So I don't typically fly an Arrow.
I would. I
But yeah.
wish they had an arrow having the wing folding, almost like a VTOL option. So
Mm.
you can land her without
With the
that.
wings down,
Yeah, because it's only
which
for when you're going into a carrier. There's no.
you should be able to do that. I mean, I think
You
if
cannot.
anything, I bet you can.
Mm-mm.
Eventually. Not right now,
Mm.
not right now,
Okay,
but,
sure.
like,
Yeah.
because you have manual control over that stuff in the Talon, for example.
Or
Like, the wing sweep is detached
oh yeah,
from,
yeah, true.
the landing gear key. Um,
Well, I mean,
so
technically a retaliator as well, right? But
yeah,
it's
yeah, there's a
VTOL, but
couple,
still.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Um. Yeah. If you guys are flying it, throw something in the comments because this is like 313 just came out, and this is me going through a couple of streams, talking to people I know, and their thoughts. Mostly Chrono because he always dedicates time to explain because we're friends, but some
yeah,
other people as well.
yeah,
Um. Okay, so we got caves,
yeah.
and
This kind of is I don't know, like I was saying when in the first section where, like, what we did in game and stuff, like the caves for me, I feel like I've seen them already because they've been so hyped in Star Citizen videos, and also PTU has been in PTU for a month, and like I just feel like every time I look at the Twitch streamer list, everybody's
they're
in
in
the
the cave.
caves.
Yeah,
So I'm
and
just kind of like,
it died down for
I
me
don't
as
know.
well. Like I'm not interested in going to check the asteroids anymore. I'm not interested to go and check the caves. I don't care.
I'll
I've
go.
seen it.
I'll go do it eventually. I just didn't like again like when I was playing earlier this week. I just didn't feel the. I wasn't like, oh my god, I gotta go see the caves, right? Because I
Well,
feel
here's
like I've
another
seen
thing.
them. So
How do you go and see the caves? Again, you're getting a mission, and this
mhm,
time it's not search and rescue or whatever, which you can just take it and go there and look at it. It's an
true.
FPS mission, and
Yeah, which
I
is fine, I guess. I could
yeah,
take my carrot, but yeah.
but these are bad. I am not doing FPS mission. Like, and I kind of want to go around the cave and explore rather than being shot in the head when they just brought the caves, in. I don't know. Um, again, it's cool to have it. We thought that maybe we're gonna be able to fly around them and whatnot. No, they're just like basically sinkholes with. Yeah, the good thing is there's some minables in the caves. Again, if you check Tomato's video, you can see him like sinking down with the prospector and like mining in the wall of the cave, which looks really epic.
Yeah.
So if that's something you want to do, that's kind of cool. I wanna do that with the asteroids, but yeah. Anyway, so that and then the FPS missions work. There's a couple of different ones. I don't think. Well, I don't know. They might affect the what's the name? Reputation. Um, Delphi is the name.
Yeah.
If you get the mission from certain person, I don't know, but in general, yeah, that's what it is. Um, okay, so this is something you brought up, that the physics grid seems to be working better. Speaking of lifts, mostly, um, where some people are saying that they can bring vehicles on, for
Yeah.
example, what's the
Well,
name?
this
Nomad and 600i.
600i. Yeah, I've heard even constellations are having this. This is something we talked about a couple episodes back. I kind of theorized that maybe the physics grid work that they're doing to get docking working would have a knock-on effect with putting vehicles and stuff like that, having vehicles on lifts and stuff like that working smoother. And you were saying, Chegg, that they said specifically on the in the patch notes that
Yes.
wasn't the case, but
So if you read through the patch notes, they say that you can't put anything on the lift and lift it. But I tested this,
yeah,
uh,
lots of people have.
and I tested with like the simple object. I brought the quantum sensitive box and put it on lift of
Mantis, yeah.
Mantis. Yeah, and I turned on the elevator. It brought it up, and I brought it down, and then I stood on it with the other box, and we went up together in
Yeah,
harmony. Yeah, it was bouncing a bit, but it was fine. It was working.
sure.
I don't know.
And I've seen this a couple times on through various social media channels as well. Like people are saying like, "Oh my god, like no problems loading my rock into the Nomad, like
Mm.
loaded up just fine." And one guy was saying like he has never to this date been able to actually put a vehicle in his 600i
See,
and
that's kind of funny
313.
because I have someone who does it all the time.
Oh yeah.
Rusky,
Well,
you
I
know
don't know.
Rusky?
Yeah.
He flies
In
600i
my
with Rock.
Interesting. Oh, I've always had issues trying to get vehicles to go up in lifts when I had a Constellation. Like it never worked for me. It would just like judder like crazy and the ship would explode.
I
Um,
Okay. I love my Ursa and I drive it around, fly it around. So in Connie, it's not
cool.
easy. You gotta be very, very careful. But yeah, hopefully it's better. Maybe people just didn't even try because they're afraid of, yeah, because it can explode. Explode.
Maybe, but at any rate, I have been seeing a lot of people saying that so far lifts and vehicles have been good this patch. So that's cool.
That's very cool. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. So yeah, we got docking as well for Merlin and Archimedes to Constellation, which I got a little bit confused. Everyone's been that I know has not been mind blown by it. I mean, it's great feature, but it seems to be working very janky, which is to expect because we have like server tick issues and whatnot. However, again, I am very much affected by Tomato's latest half an hour video because he goes into detail about everything, and he's like, it works amazingly well. It's flawless, and I'm like, holy shit! We talked about this before. How different of an experience it is for different players. And we can touch
Yeah.
on something else as well. Like both you and me had no issues, while
Yeah.
Paul
Where Paul,
Shelley,
yeah,
yeah, had to
ended
stop
the
his
stream
stream,
early.
yeah, because he got annoyed by how the game is performing and whatnot. So yeah, like we said before, if you are having good time in this patch, that's great. That doesn't necessarily mean that everyone else does, and vice versa. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
always a tricky part.
My brother can't even start the game. It keeps crashing like on,
Yeah.
you know, on launch. So yeah.
Okay, so with the patch, we got the new referral uh, thing. So before we talk about that, last referral was Drake Dragonfly for both
Yeah.
people, which is
Yeah. $40.
$80 total.
Yeah.
No, she's 40. Yeah,
That's what I mean. $40.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 40. I've
Per
heard 30. I don't know.
Dragonfly.
So with LTI, and that was something, man. Now they I just don't know. In your opinion, is it better to just not do anything if it's not better
I don't
or
know. They did
same?
the Merlin. They did the Merlin too. Like
Yeah,
it's
but they did
something.
Merlin before Dragonfly, so it was like what 25, then 40, and now it's 20. It's like backwards. They did
I guess. I
it.
mean,
What's the name? The
when
little golf cart.
the
Great
yeah,
cat.
the gray cat buggy. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. But when I found out, actually, I didn't know today. Like I thought that the Aurora they were giving was like a $40 basically
No,
LTI
it's ES.
LTI
If it
token.
is ES, that is
And well,
20.
it is the ES. It 100% is the ES. But like, if it's only $20, yeah. I mean, like, I'm not doing it. I mean, I was gonna start my alt account when I saw that come out because I thought it was a gain. Like, it was, oh sweet, $40 LTI token. Sure, like I'll create an alt account for that. But oh, it's only 20. Nah, no thanks. I'll just wait.
You know what? Yeah, that's for us who have like bunch of stuff on our accounts already, making our alt
Sure.
accounts and all that. But I'm thinking about like, what does this mean to a new player? Let's say I bring someone to the game and I'm like, well, you're gonna start with the Aurora, you're gonna pay $45, and then you're gonna get a worse
Another
copy.
Aurora.
Well, but the worst copy of Aurora for free with lifetime insurance, which
Yeah.
potentially you can upgrade to something better if you spend more money in case you like flying your two Auroras, which Auroras are not in a good place right now. It's like they're just not. Um, as like flying them is fine, the visibility and everything. I kind of like the Aurora.
I
It's a dear
guess.
ship to me, but like they, as we know, like they're being sold for as an alternative to Mustang, which can do as jack of all trades.
So I guess like if you knew this, if somebody was like trying to hook you up with this, they'd just tell you to get the Mustang because then you get a Mustang and an Aurora.
If I'm not
Even if
wrong,
it's,
Maso, if you buy Mustang, you get the Aurora.
I don't think you do anymore.
I think you do.
I I
Let's
think they
test this
stopped
for
that.
the next episode. I will test
Or
it.
if you know, like if somebody knows, drop it in the comments. But I'm
Sure.
pretty sure they stopped doing that.
Anyways, I just don't. I mean, it's so stupid. Like, I am almost complaining about free ship. $20 LTI. I almost feel like they're Japan. Oh, oh no! Tinfoil hat incoming.
No, no,
No,
no.
but
We
it
don't have
is.
time for a tinfoil hat.
It's obvious. It's obvious though.
I don't have the energy to defend against your tinfoil
So
hat today.
listen. I'm telling you right now. Within the next week, we're gonna get the Inforunners episode, unless it's already there, where they will tell you this is amazing. Get a $20 LTI token to upgrade. But everyone who buys this as a $20 token is another account that plays Star Citizen, which increases the numbers.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I guess, but like somebody would actually have to be actively playing that alt account
You
in order
know I
for it
don't
to be
believe in
count
this.
in
I
in
mean,
order for it to be able to be counted as a unique player.
I okay. Let's not go there. But anyways, it's like more accounts, right? It's more accounts. They
Yeah, but
do have
that's
that
never
metric
been,
as well.
well, okay, they do have that as well.
Yeah.
Correct.
And to
But
someone in marketing, it might mean something. Whatever. Anyways,
okay.
there's that. If you have a if you someone refers you, you get the $20 LTA with a token, and they get the same in
Sure.
form of Aurora ES.
If you're watching this, my referral code is just down below. No, I'm kidding.
We can add it if you want. I'm not using
Whatever,
referral
I don't
anymore.
care.
The way I do it is completely different. As you know, like I on my streams when I stream, I got my Gladius and I'm done. I don't think there's a point of chasing more unless you are, I don't know,
I would
board
love to have
gamer.
the Gladius,
Yeah.
personally.
So what
But
I do is I basically do a raffle whenever we get someone new, and I'm like, okay, whoever wins the raffle, they get to paste their uh, referral key in my chat.
Right.
Well, we can add
Um,
your referral to these.
I mean, I guess so, but
Yeah,
like, yeah, whatever.
I don't
I
think
don't know.
anyone uses it, but we can do it.
That feels a little dirty. I'm not gonna lie,
Well, I
but
mean,
it's on
it's
my Twitch
okay.
page if you feel like it.
I
But
can add
yeah,
it to the comments, man. I don't really mind. I don't
sure.
think it's dirty. This is a free content, and if someone is like, "Oh," well, to be fair, I don't think anyone's gonna use it. That's the thing. But like, if someone is like,
Okay.
"Oh shit, look at these guys talking about game," and
Yeah,
after our episode without any gameplay, you decide to play it, well, then you can use Masu's code. Why not?
I guess so. Yeah.
Um,
Anyways,
so you spent some money
yeah,
this
because
week.
I'm dumb. They put out the skins for the MSR, and honestly, they're pretty cool. Like, I haven't jumped at any MSR skins before this, except for the green one for the Fortuna, because I like that shade of green. But yeah, so they put out 3 new ones, and they're actually interesting. Like, where like the other ones that they put out were like light blue and like white camo, and I personally didn't really jump at those, but the orange one here looks pretty freaking cool, and I like the black and blue as well. But I still feel like an idiot because I never fly my MSR. I just like it a lot.
Um, I'll be the other side here and say that I want them to sell skins and I'm buying them, but make a skin, please. This is a shader. This is not a skin.
It's
This is
true.
something that should be for free in the game.
Yep. Yep.
Just
I will
different
admit that.
palette. That's it. So
Yes.
the
And
moment they
honestly,
make something, I immediately bought the Lunar New Year, whatever, because it has prints on it and whatnot for the
mhm.
Nomad, for example, right? So
Yeah, and
that's
you're
different.
right. Like these skins right now are the thing that I was complaining about when I said I didn't like the way that they were doing their skins, because like you said, this feels like something that you could do when they finally put out the ability to just like change the hue, like primary, secondary, tertiary areas of
Yeah,
your ship. So I still have an issue with that, but I
it's okay.
guess
You can use it now, and then when they implement that in the game, if they do, you're gonna melt it and buy yourself an
that's
Aurora
exactly.
ES.
I have a couple slots on one of my packs still that I still have to decide on a ship for, and that's the other part of my logic is like I plan on doing that anyways. So you
Same.
know, in the meantime, I'll fly a bright orange MSR because I like orange, and then
I just
eventually
hope
I'll
that
just melt it and put it towards a CCU.
every like pirate player, whenever they see orange MSR, they'll go straight for it.
Try and catch me, motherfuckers!
Do you hear
I'll
that,
outfly
Noodle?
you.
Okay. So, there were okay. So you said there's some changes to sounds
Yes.
in game. So in game.
Yes. And this, I'm not going to full on hot take on this because this does kind of tie into our topic, but I'm not a huge fan of the laser sounds in game. I think they're lazy. Um, but they've changed it a little bit. Like I've noticed specifically the size 5 Badger is the only one that I've noticed a difference on. Sounds way heavier now when you open it up. It's got this
Mm.
like kind of like cool down sound to it when you're firing. It just sounds beefier. So that's cool. It needs to go further. Like I still feel like the laser repeater sounds are very unimpactful and they need some
So
work.
sound
But
for this
but
goes
they
in
have changed
layers.
something.
So it might have now like 2 out of 20 layers of sound.
Yes,
You know what
I
I
hope
mean?
that's the case. Yeah.
Or however many.
Yep.
Another thing that changed in silence. I flew my Retaliator because I don't have any other medium-sized ship, so that's my cross crossfield transporter.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's in-game bot Retaliator, and that's what I use it for.
Yep.
And
That's my MSR.
yeah,
That's
uh,
when I need to jump across system.
they have added really cool blue um LED lights all over the place, as in like little squares or whatever. It's not like strips. They also added
Like on the interior or exterior of the
interior. We're
ship?
talking all about interior. They added little touchpad locks on all the doors.
Oh,
These
cool.
don't work, but it looked like, when you have your like Android and then you like have a combination of something to like move your finger,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it looks like that, and you have to be careful to look at it from the distance because the sensors for doors are much further away now. Which I think is good because you used to be able to get stuck in a corridor between cockpit and captain's quarters. So now that's not a thing. The
Hmm.
illumination on the ship is better. If you go to the toilet, for example, you can see everything.
That's
Um,
important for toilets.
yeah, I mean all over the ship, but you can see there more than anywhere else because it's like metallic, gray, whatever. And the most important part, if you guys remember, those who fly the Retaliator, the chair in the cockpit used to like go back and then turn, like in Constellation, for example, and then you used to get stuck because it moves back into the turret area, and there was an issue with like turret, and if both people, like let's say I have someone in the bottom turret and we land, and I'm like, okay, we're done, and we both press Y at the same time,
Oh,
the
no.
world explodes. uh,
Oh.
so they change it to where, how you sneak into the chair in Aurora, like the
Yeah,
chair
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
move but you have to, like, your character goes
Kinda
a
like
little bit.
shimmy around
Yeah,
it, yeah.
so that's how you get into Retaliator now.
Okay.
I'm down with that, it
Yeah,
works.
when is the gold pass happening on that
I think this is
again?
part of it. I think it's 314 if I'm not wrong, for
Yeah,
Tali.
sounds like
And
it anyways, yeah.
modularity, blah blah blah, right?
Modularity, yeah.
um so yeah, I mean, a little thing that I noticed, it was not in the patch notes or anything like that. um this is still news, by the way. New patch, baby.
Yep.
Okay, so what we did not mention is that DS and T. So ROCDS is in the game.
Who cares? We've already had our hot take on this.
Cyclone TR is in the game.
Who cares? We've already had our hot take on this.
Okay, we mentioned it. Don't spend your money on it, please.
Please, God, no.
Um,
I mean, it's your money. You do what you want, but
yeah.
yeah.
So there's, before we get into IC and SEL, there, there was something, I think it's unintentional. It was on PTU and everyone cried
Yeah.
about it, and they were like,
Oh,
no,
it's
we're gonna
definitely
fix it.
unintentional.
So if you sneak close to someone, you can steal their med pens, and oxy pens.
Apparently, you can steal a lot of shit from people.
You can steal tablets from NPCs.
Yeah.
You can steal, if someone uses backspace in Grim Hacks, you can grab their weapons off of them as well. I don't know if they spawn without them or not.
Oh, no.
If you want to know more about
Hopefully-
this,
Oh, that needs testing because hopefully you still spawn with them because technically they weren't in your hands.
yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't know.
We're gonna have to test that.
Anyways, Cutlet, Space Cutlet, the notorious pirate, and a couple of his mates were, they proclaimed this the best patch for piracy ever. They're having loads
you can
of
finally
fun.
steal stuff.
Yeah. They just like straight up like, so some people know, and they would like try to sneak around. So they came up with a new tactic where it's like duo thing, where one person is like, here, take this, and they're like offering a tablet, and people are like trying to get it. And while one person is trying to take it, the other guy is like behind and stealing all of their med pens.
I love that so much.
And they're using Voip and whatnot. It's funny.
They were supposed to fix that in the PTU, I thought. Apparently they didn't.
It's in live, so
I like
there
that.
you go.
Okay, so watch for pickpockets is basically what you're saying.
I think you can only do this in like non armistice zones though. So Grim Hacks and maybe like open areas and whatnot. But still, it's kind of fun. I don't mind. Like these things, I don't mind. That was fine, you know.
Yeah, even if it's a bug,
fun.
it's a funny bug. It's a funny bug. Yeah.
Okay, so that's
the-
news except for SCL and IC, and I'll let you go with this IC because you probably liked it because it's turbulent and it's your Canadian brethren. I didn't like it at all.
um, I liked it because I've been asking for uh video from Turbulent for like over a year now.
So did it
Um,
deliver?
Not entirely, because the one major thing I've been curious about is apparently Turbulent is working on server meshing, and we still don't know what they're doing on it, and they did not address this in this one. But it was, I don't know. I thought it was cool because you got to see kind of like what they're like, more cool stuff that they're working on, and yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it. Not hate. Blah, excuse
So
me.
to
Hate
me,
it.
it
Though
was
I will
very.
say that right now, my sleep deprived brain is really struggling to even remember it. So take that how you will. Maybe it was boring
So
and it was unmemorable, or maybe my brain just isn't working right now.
there. So basically, what happened this week, and I'm not gonna talk much into it, but we had 3 weeks of nothing, or 4 weeks of nothing. Well, the
Yeah,
last ISC was the
yeah,
404, right? And
that's
then
normal.
this ISC was late. So we had a short video about DS, a short
Mhm.
video about TR, and a short video of what is SC. And then I was really disappointed because I thought maybe they're not going to release
Yeah,
ISC, and it was
yeah,
not really mentioned. The only way you can find out if you are in some people's streams that have devs there that were like, we're running late because technical difficulties, whatever. Please, CIG, use Twitter like every other normal development studio and say, "Hey guys, we're running into issues."
Hmm.
That's it.
Jared did a post on Twitter about it, but it happened, I think, after it already came
After
out.
they released it,
Yeah,
well, yeah, and that was like, excuse me, but this is like worldwide project, and that happened like 4 a.m. Central European time. So great. Um. Anyways, then it came out, and this like four guys from Turbulent talking about how they met each other, how they worked for different studios, or most of them worked for
yeah,
Ubisoft
that's true.
Montreal,
Yeah, yeah.
and it just felt like it just, to me, it felt like they're not really part of CAG. Like I just did not feel that
Well, they,
connection.
to be fair, they kind of aren't. I mean,
See what
but
I
they
mean?
are now. They are now, and but like it's still a relatively new thing. Like, right? Like they're still just kind of getting into this.
So I don't
You
want that
know,
in my IC. That's the only stuff that
that's
I
fair.
get. And
I'll admit with I'll admit I'll agree
agree.
with you there.
Yeah.
Like from what I wanted from Turbulent, this was not it. This
Yeah.
And now, of course, we're probably not going to hear anything from them for months, which is unfortunate because I really want to know. Like, I want to know what
What would
they
be
do on
cool?
the what they do on the web development. Like, how's the star map coming? How is like what are you doing on
Wait,
server
not even
meshing?
Star Map. Like, what's with the fucking website? I want to ask these people, how the fuck are you not able to change number
Well,
on the
they've
ships?
already responded to that. They've already responded to that.
I
I
probably
don't necessarily agree with the
don't want to
answer,
hear
but
the
they
answer.
no, you don't.
Anyway, so after that, Jared did the sprint report. Sprint report is always the same. There's nothing crazy about it. You either know what's happening or you don't. No surprises. You know what I mean? But it's
Mhm.
cool. Sprint report is always a good thing to have.
Yep.
Star Season Live.
I didn't watch it. Sorry. Sorry, not
I
sorry. I don't know.
I don't care about FPS. It feels like so many things are coming lately that I don't give a shit about in Star Citizen Live, and I watched it. And I was extremely bored with it. And they did not. It did not feel like they know what they're talking about. If it, and I don't mean to be disrespectful. I don't think they don't know what they're doing. I just don't think they prepared this at all. It was very scuffed, and they were designing a level on the go, and they were, yeah, I don't know, man.
I I'm not super salty about it because this is just SCL to me. Like, the ones that are kind of more visual and that are like from like an art based team where they're going to design something, they're just not ones I watch. You know, like I know SCL for me and for a lot of people is hit or miss. Like if you get a team with a topic that you're interested in, it's great. If you were not, then you skip it. And that was this SCL for me. As soon as I saw it was level design, I was like, not really
Yeah,
interested,
yeah. I don't know,
so I
man.
didn't watch it.
They also it wasn't prepared, man. They had like the pauses when I don't like that when like we listen to the same podcast and I'm like, did you notice how this person like there's like huge break in between them talking about something and nothing is happening, and then you
Hmm.
have 1 hour of content weekly, and that's what it is there was like probably like 10 minutes of
Yeah.
altogether of nothingness. Yeah, I don't know if you guys like level design. But keep in mind that there was one of these when Jared in the beginning said, "People will ask about so many things that are not up this team," and I'm like, "Yeah, what's the point, man? Like everyone wants to find. They're not art. They're not like they don't like they do stuff that is strict background, like nothing." Nothing you like it's backbone. Obviously, it's extremely important. It's
Yeah.
crucial, but
But it's not something
it's not
that
something
plays
you
well on
see.
camera.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even in the game, like you don't see this. Like whatever. Okay. Anyways, we're done with the news. Holy shit. Well, the news was a huge chunk of our episode
Yeah.
today.
We could I gotta say, like there's a lot there, and if my brain had been working properly, I'm sure we probably could have talked about a lot more.
Yeah, I thought
But
this episode would be like 5 hours, honestly.
I can't do it, man.
But you
Can't
kind of
do
saved us from
it.
that, and the listeners or viewers. Okay. So the topic. Oh my god, guys, get ready for a lot of salt now.
If we haven't been salty up until this point,
I don't think I was
it's
salty today yet, properly.
we pretty much crapped on everything everything in this patch so far,
You think
with
so?
a few
Okay.
exceptions. But this is gonna get worse because, and this is gonna come as a shock to people who have viewed this show for, I don't know, the last few episodes or at all. We don't often agree on stuff, but this one we both agree on.
What is SC muscle?
What is SC? Well, we got a video about it.
Oh
It
shit!
was,
So now I can watch it and I can know what SE
yeah,
is.
you can know exactly what the game is like.
Exactly. You wanna tell me that I can watch this 2 minute long video and it will hype
Totally.
me up. I will buy the game,
Yeah,
funding that project, not some other project.
totally. It's
And
the gameplay is definitely like exactly what they showed.
you wanna tell me Star Citizen sounds like what it is there, looks
Oh,
like what it
yes.
is there?
And all the sound effects that are in this video are real life sounds and gameplay too. And they definitely didn't just slyly insert bits of cutscenes into the gameplay in such a way that it looks like actual gameplay.
I'm
Okay,
I'm gonna go and buy the game
that's
now.
enough.
It's really
That's
good.
enough sarcasm. Star Citizen channel put out a "What is Star Citizen" video. It was a 2 minute
Shit show.
trailer, I guess, but I just,
So let's
I'm
put one
sorry.
thing out of the way. It looks good. It sounds fucking amazing.
Sounds great. It's not at all what Star Citizen is.
It's a big
Not
fat lie.
even a little bit. It is, and this is a note that that Chegg uh,
In
put down
caps.
here.
Yeah.
It is brutally dishonest, and I I agree. I really agree. I don't. I mean,
So to put it this
I
way,
get it.
we before the show, we sat down and watched it again together. It's only 2 minute long video, and I was just silent because I watched it on my stream and I felt like crying, man. I felt really bad about it again. I didn't like the MSR video because it's not true. And I was like, hopefully they will not go this way. Obviously now we know they will. Like all the video materials are not what SC is. And I was just listening to Master saying, "Oh, this is your. Oh, this is your. Oh, this is
Yep.
wrong. And I'm like, okay, I'm not crazy. Um, the problem is if the video started with it's a 2 minute video. If you had like two black screens and once and with white letters, one saying this is our idea of Star Citizen, and then the next one, would you like to help us fund this project for the future? We're good. But if you say this is Star Citizen,
Yeah.
and then you
Yeah.
roll that shit, and then I go and buy Star Citizen because it's there, that's what it is, and I
Yep.
end up playing what I play right now, I mean, I have an additional problem with this, and I am a long time EVE Online player. I don't play it very often anymore. And for those who don't know, This is Star Citizen is actually inspired by This is Eve.
I'm gonna counter this a little bit because I I don't like it's like what is Eve is not this is Star Citizen in title and maybe it was inspired by but it was a like we watched both these videos before the stream and they were very different
because one was not lying.
because one was very much focused on well yeah I guess that's it one was very much focused on the actual gameplay
Yeah,
of
but
the
that's
game.
what is Star Citizen is supposed to be. So we had this
I guess yeah
conversation,
okay
and
you're right yeah.
someone replied to me, "This is the most honest trailer that I have ever done. Everything is made in game." That's what I got, and I'm sure some of you will
Wrong.
agree with this. But it's not. That's the problem. If it was, I wouldn't mind it. But it's not. Like the sounds are different. Everything's different. And then on top of that, it's not only gameplay. There's bunch of inserts from the commercials for ships, for 300, for example, or
Yep.
there's so much of that. And
There
so
was shots from the cinematic video from the belligerent duck. There was like there was just like there was cutscenes inserted in just brief flashes throughout the entire video that 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 obviously were shot in engine,
yeah,
but
but
they're definitely not gameplay. And yes, yeah, I'm sorry, but like what you showed there is not what Star Citizen is. It just isn't. It's where they want to go, maybe, but that's not what the video says. And not to
I
mention like even when they were demoing the professions, they're like, oh, be a mercenary or be a hauler. And like in the hauler, they show somebody in a cargo deck of like a station. Nobody goes to the cargo decks because they
no,
don't fucking work.
not only that,
Nothing happens
but
there.
also a person is carrying one SSCU, right? Like one delivery box, and that's be a hauler and haul one box.
Yeah, but that was the dishonesty too, because in the backdrop you see big like
Containers
crates,
and
big
whatnot. Yeah.
big containers, and okay,
It's very bad, and here's why this is a topic. We had this in the news, and I knew we were gonna get heated about this. Even Masso's brain wakes up with rage. But here's why this is a topic today: is are they going to continue with this completely dishonest trailers? And you know what? Even more, why are they spending money on this? Your money. Your money. I just don't get it. Cause let me tell you something. This whole trailer was heavily edited. You know what I
you
mean?
know what though, like the money, I don't even care.
I know.
I don't even care.
It's more of a principle.
Like
Like, what are we doing here? What are they doing here? Is this bringing new players?
well,
And
it's designed to, but again, I mean,
if so, what are these players going to think? It goes
I know
back
exactly
to
what they're gonna think. I know exactly what they're gonna think because we talked about this in the new player episode with Quicksilver. We talked, like they they're going to come in expecting a certain level of gameplay, they're going to get frustrated and they're going to leave. And that is evident in the concurrent player numbers that they themselves released it and spun as if it were a positive thing.
Because
You
it
know,
is. This is what I'm telling you with the
like,
referral.
oh, we have this
That
many accounts, and
yeah,
then they have 30,000 concurrent players. That shows that like literally 90% of your player base is buying the game and then not playing.
yeah. Which in its essence makes sense because people are backing the project,
Sure,
not
and that's
buying the
all they
game.
give a
But
fuck
that's
about.
not
That's
how
that's
they're
what this
buying the
video
game.
is.
Yeah, but they're not selling it like that, right? So they're selling the game. It's so fucked up. I don't know what to say. So I will say again, this to me is straight up predatory, and I know I'm gonna get flack for this again. To me, this goes into the same bin as selling Quorum 42 instead of um an
Yeah, I
MMO.
don't agree with you on that one,
I know, I
but
know,
yes, I
but
mean,
like slowly but surely, in my mind, this bag is filling up with same kind of bullshit that, at least from my perspective, from my point of view,
so
that's how it
so
seems.
so so part of me wants to give them the benefit of the doubt. I don't even know if it's a benefit of the doubt situation, low sleep, whatever, bear with me. Um, but like they aren't unique from putting out a flashy trailer that doesn't necessarily indicate, what gameplay actually is. I mean, we see that across the industry, you know.
We do.
Uh like look at a trailer for Anthem,
We get
for
trailer
example.
for like literally, yeah.
Anything really, like, but when you title it, this isn't Star Citizen trailer 2021 or whatever. This is what is Star Citizen. And
Yeah,
yeah, anyways, now we're just beating on it. But like
I know,
ultimately
but
that's the problem I have with this. I would have no problem if you said,
this is what
like
we're
I
trying to
said,
get,
like,
right?
or like I said, like, uh, even if you said gameplay trailer 2021, I would say, okay, technically that is a gameplay trailer. But
Half of
like
it, maybe.
like literally, I mean,
Here's another
literally
thing.
the sounds aren't even right. You're not even
Yeah.
using the same sounds. Do you know how much that bugs me? When the lasers are shooting and stuff like that, they
Oh,
sound
the
fucking epic
comms
in that
noise
the
and
comms
where
noise
you're
when they're
approaching the
around.
station, right? That's
Like,
so
that's
good.
awesome. None of that exists. You know what? I would like, why does the trailer get cool sounding lasers and we have these stupid ass fucking badgers, like that, literally laser repeater, they sound the fucking same.
Maybe
Like,
that's how they sound in Squadron 42, and
I
you need not to get spoiled
why?
by sound.
Like, the sounds exist. You're putting them in the trailer. Fucking just literally copy paste. I don't even care. I'm armchair deving right now. I don't even care. Like, just
Uh,
put them in
it
the,
just doesn't seem right, man.
like, clearly they don't even think their game is good enough to market
Of
straight out
course.
because they doctor it so heavily.
But that's crazy because their game is
Down
not a
to the
game.
sounds of the guns, for fuck's sakes.
And it's funny to me because it doesn't have to be perfect because you are in an alpha state. So why are you selling a lie instead of saying this is, what we want? Or,
Because 90% of the people who buy the game don't want to play it.
well,
And
what's
that's why
older,
they have to spin these fucking trailers that aren't in any way accurate, because they know that 90% of the people who buy their game are not going to play it. They're going to get in there, they're going to get frustrated, and they're going to leave.
The other thing that this leads to is, like you said, other studios do that, but this is why I watch Odyssey trailer, like, I don't know, 6 months ago for Elite Dangerous, and I watched the whole trailer, and I'm like, 90% of this is not going to be in the game, because I know that they are a studio that makes a trailer that deceives you into believing something that will not happen, and they have this reputation. And anyone who has following any development of that game knows that you can't trust that trailer, right? So yeah, but I'm not backing that game. I just bought the finished product and I can play it or not. This game,
Yeah.
I am investing into its development, and they're lying to me and everyone else. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it.
I clearly fucking hate it because
Yeah.
this managed to stir me out of my barely awake stupor to rage a bit about it. So there you go. There
Okay.
you go, everybody. Chegg and I agree on something.
Okay, I promise the next section from my side will be more like better, more entertaining, and more bright. So both me and Maso did delivery missions, and our imagination station is delivery and trading missions, the new ones. So especially quantum sensitive ones. And so to start with this properly is right now, before these missions, the delivery missions were shit because you have to stop 4 times, get
Yeah.
8,000 alpha UC,
Yep.
and then the
Whereas
box drops through your ship or whatever the fuck, and it's just not worth the time. While at the same time, for 5 minutes, you can do surveillance, security, whatever thing, and get 20,000 alpha UC. So it's literal bullshit. So we got new missions, and they pay like shit as well. So they're still shit when it comes to payment. It literally feels like when you're doing this, you feel like you're literally wasting your time.
they
However,
trainer missions, basically.
yeah,
How to fly your ship,
yes.
how to navigate.
However, to be fair, this is what I was asking for, right? I wanted to fly ships instead of jumping around all the time, and
Yes,
I
and specifically, you wanted running boxes to pay less than people who are putting their lives on the line.
once the game makes sense, not
True.
now. Now I just want the time investment based payments. That's all I want. If it takes 7 seconds to kill fucking 2 ships with the space break, what's the name? ISIS, then that's not risking your life, and there's no life to risk, right? So right now, I think time is the only parameter when it comes to payments. Unfortunately, Edgy doesn't think that way. So a little bit more bashing on it. So basically, there's two different missions. One is, we said already, Hurston. At least maybe there's more. One is in the Crusader, where you either deliver 2 boxes to closer locations, or deliver 1 box to a very far away location. One pays 10,000 total. The other one pays 20,000. Now 20,000. It's okay. I think that the proper price will like 40,000 because it takes from 30 to 40 minutes to complete this mission. So even if it's 40,000, you will make 80,000 an hour. With an Aurora doing surveillance missions, you can make about 140 to 160,000 per hour. Uh, because you might waste some time on scanning the thing, so it might take a little bit longer. So yeah. Okay. You tried it. You didn't like it because it's like you take off, you fly up on Hurston, and then at what 3,000 meters or so, you just max speed and fly to location, land, and deliver. Right?
Well, okay. Honestly, I okay. Well, this is something I've kind of always thought, but I haven't. I don't know if I've ever mentioned to you. I think delivery missions are supposed to be paired with cargo hauling. At least that's the way I always used to do them. Right now, with the current incarnation of like stopping fucking 3 times, not as feasible. But the way I've always thought with these missions is that yeah, okay, they're supposed to pay less than combat missions for 1 box. But and I know I'm kind of tangenting here, but but what I've always kind of wanted is a return to the way that I used to play delivery missions, which was in a freelancer max and basically hopping and selling cargo as I go to try to offset to try to like increase my dollar per hour. So like if I'm hopping from outpost to outpost, I load up on distilled spirits or at least like, have a significant portion. And then I just basically when I land to pick up a box, sell whatever distilled spirits I can,
Hmm.
grab the box, fly to the next place where I'm supposed to pick up a box, sell distilled spirits, whatever I can, grab the box. Um, and that's so I that's always kind of felt like how there's like the direction they were going to go, but then they keep changing it and basically making it so like every hop is essentially paying you less for delivery missions, and now I don't even know. And honestly, I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore.
We're soon done, anyways. But
But
okay, hear me out. So just one question before that. If this was the way to fly a caterpillar or Max from point A to point
I wouldn't.
B, you
I
still wouldn't
never
like
did
it.
it with a caterpillar. I
No, no, no. Instead of the delivery mission, you go there and they load your caterpillar with like 576 SU of cargo, and then you long haul it to the next place.
yeah. Well,
Would it be better or the same in the current iteration? If that was the only difference,
I mean, it would be. I still think it would be better because
you feel
you
like you're
remember how we were
trucking,
talking.
right?
Yeah, exactly. You know, like yeah, okay, like it takes longer, but like that's fine. So, like we talked about like last was it last week? I don't even remember.
Doesn't
Time
matter.
blurring. Like it's oh my god, I totally lost my train of thought. Refresh my memory. Where were we?
If it was like if you were holding it with
Right.
the
Yeah,
carpet.
it's fine. Like we need some of that chill time,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And what I want delivery missions to be is a place where you can do something chill and still not feel like you're wasting your time. And the problem with the current incarnation is you're absolutely wasting
You
your
are.
time,
Yeah.
even if you're selling cargo to try to like pad out the your run.
Okay.
Um and with the current incarnation of the quantum sensitive ones where you have to actively fly it, it's not any better basically. Like I want to have to fly my ship more, but you know, the payout and the limitation of like how many locations you can go to basically just
Mm,
restricts that even further. You
okay.
know, like at least when you were hopping around to pick up multiple boxes via quantum, you can sell a little bit here, sell a little bit there, sell a little bit
You
there
had
as
some
you
other
go.
action, yeah, additional
But like
tasks.
when you're just basically cruising up to like a cruising altitude and then going straight and level for, you know, a couple 100 kilometers.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
2000 as you had. So,
yeah,
but tell
I
me,
did it on Hurston, and
so
that was a longer
if
flight.
the payment was actually good, let's say you get 100,000 for this, would it be better?
Yes, I think so because then at least, like I said, I mean, I can just like cruise, look at the views as I'm like as I'm going, and you know, and
And it
then
feels like you're
kind of
doing
touch down,
something, right? You're
and then
getting
it
to a
feels like
point.
I'm doing something.
And then
And
it's
like
an
I get it.
alternative. Like at that point, it's an
Yeah,
alternative to something else. So I can do bounty hunting, or I can do mining, or I can long
exactly.
haul, right? So that would make sense.
And I get that that's you know, like this all the mission payouts right now are not how they're gonna be.
Yeah.
You know, like we
It,
know that they're not
in which
the
case, I just don't
real.
understand why is this box not worth 100,000?
Do
And
you
people
not want
start
people to
flying,
do delivery
man.
missions?
Yes.
Like,
And you would see people on these moons and planets flying around. You would meet another person flying back and forth. Now, this is uh, stupidly easy to understand. Like adding more money to it, it would literally make it worth it, right? But here's what I have to say. I've been flying it. I've done 10 missions. I think on average it's like 30 to 35 minutes average. So fair 6 hours or so of flying. Am I wrong? I'm wrong, probably. Yeah, a bit
do you say
less.
30, 40 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, bit yeah.
And I came to this conclusion. So I was flying them around around Crusader moons, where like both Yella and Selin have so thick atmosphere that you can like fly full speed at any level. And then I was doing some on Daymar where you have to like get some elevation in order to get some better speed. And what I figured out is it's not giving me the kick that I wanted as where I'm flying the ship, because again I'm not flying the ship. You
Yeah.
put all the way up and you wait for the destination to get there. So my
True.
idea was,
Unless you're flying an MSR, and then you have
well,
to
yeah, but
constantly hold
that's
the stick back to stay straight and level.
so here's my idea. Why are these boxes not sensitive to altitude as well? Let's say pressure. And you have to fly within 1,000 meters or
I'm okay with
2,000.
that.
I
I'm okay
tried
with
it.
that on the moons.
That's how I bumped into. Well, it doesn't matter, man. It's fine
Uh,
because if it's so much more paid, then you're okay with flying for 40 minutes. And then you know
y-
what else?
Sure, but this is the thing. Like, if you had that restriction on Hurston, like I said, I think my distance to the destination was like 2,300 kilometers.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I'd be there for hours if I had to fly under 1,000
Right.
meters to fly
Right.
that sort of a distance. But
For sure, I agree. But then just make it so that you do this in Hurston between, closer destinations, such as Edmund is like
yeah,
200
yeah,
kilometers
yeah,
away
yeah,
from
sure,
Lorville, for example. So what this does, I did this, like I made this rule for myself, and I couldn't keep it under 1,000, dude. It's that's very low actually. And what I had to do is I had to low fly, so I actually had to avoid hills, mountains, craters. I would see minables popping around, so if I feel like I can stop and actually mine a little bit,
yeah,
I don't, but like, you know what I mean. And
yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
this is why I did so many, because I made it fun for me. Now mind you, I didn't make any money. I made like 100K total. It's like nothing, but it like 6 hours or whatever. But it was fun, dude, because I had to fly. I had to actually
Yes,
maneuver around. And then if you add to that maybe um what do they call them? The bump sensitive ones, the contact sensitive, whatever. You know what I mean? Because we had those as well.
yeah, yeah.
Now we're talking, because I smashed my Pisces into a hill. I survived, but you saw the pictures. So
Yeah.
and it's fun. Like you have to actually, and I felt like I play Euro Truck Simulator quite a lot, So that it felt like I'm flying the ship to destination. But this the yeah, it needs altitude limitation in order to be any good. Maybe 2,000. Maybe 2,000. So that you have like enough space above.
Above a mountain. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just so that you don't lose it too easy. Or like I would, or maybe something like it can be above 2,000 meters for a total of like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
When Quantanium starts ticking, you still have time, right? So that's what I mean, right? So you still have, you can go above the bump and down, and you're like, okay, the timer is showing you. We have this in the game already. You know what I mean? So you can risk a little bit. You can.
You know what would be fun too is if not only okay, so you could go above since we're an imagination
Yeah, we're
station, I'll just
totally under
like go
imagination. Yeah.
um like okay, yes, you can go over the altitude for a certain amount of time, but maybe it like degrades like by a couple percentage every time you do. So like that, like if you end up having to go over it and the customer gets their package and it's like this is only 80% of
Yeah,
what I wanted. You know what I
you
mean?
get
Like
paid less or
so then
something.
or reputation, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
this
Once
isn't
we have,
100%, it's okay, but you only get a B for this one, you know what I mean? Um, I
I
think that would
think
be fun.
I think these would be cool, because one other thing that I noticed while flying, I actually fucking finally paid attention to the new planet tech, and the problem was that flying that low on Yella was really taxing on my frames.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And you could see things drawing. I don't have the best rig in the world, but I still have 32 gigs of RAM, 1080,
8700K, like yeah.
8700K. So it works when I'm not streaming, but like that low flying like that, that I felt it.
It's specifically when you're streaming it too, you
Yeah.
know?
True.
Like that's hefty on the CPU.
But anyways, that's my basically idea of how to make them better. Because I love delivery missions, man. I love delivery missions. I want to do them. and I would love to do cargo holding the same way. Like I want a
That's
cargo
exactly it.
hold the same way with the caterpillar flying low, dude. Like you gotta do
Well,
it, you know?
just in general, like I just wanted to tie in more with cargo hauling, like I used to do anyways. Like basically the way I used to run it was like my bread and butter was the cargo trading that I was doing in my max, and then the boxes that you deliver are just bonus, right?
Mm.
Bonus 6K, bonus 8K. Like
But when I talk, okay, but I'm talking about like another thing as well. Like I'm not talking about trading because you're not cargo hauling, you're trading.
oh. You mean
I'm
like
saying I
taking like
park
larger,
there, they fill it
right?
up, and I go
Yeah.
and take
Okay.
it. Not my
Sure.
money. I don't care. Well, I mean, I care because I want to get paid and
Yeah.
reputation, but I don't have to invest.
I would also like time sensitive, like, okay, so the time sensitive ones are supposedly in,
I
but
haven't
I would
seen
like
them.
it to be time sensitive. I mean, yeah, we neither of us have seen them, but if they do actually exist, I would like it to be more, and I'm sure that they probably are planning on doing this, but like instead of just being like have it to this destination by this time or you're done, or you fail the mission and you don't get paid, I'd like to have it a little bit more flexible too. So it's like, like all delivery missions are technically timed. Like if you go gallivanting all around the solar system, neglecting to deliver that one box that's in your hold, for a couple hours or whatever, and then you finally deliver it, they're like, fucking thanks. Here's your money because we got the product, but you're not getting like a good reputation from
Mm,
hit from this. You might in fact get a negative
yeah,
reputation for that.
yeah,
So like as you're doing your deliveries and your cargo hauling, like you're building a route because you're like, okay, so I'm going to go from this outpost where I have to pick up a package. I'll also buy some cargo while I'm here. Then there's this other thing over here. Like that's what I like when I'm doing space trucking in other games,
yeah.
or like it's like thinking, okay, I'm going to go here, pick up this, and then maybe I'll fly over here, get this mission, which takes up this much cargo hold. And while I'm this, I'll take on a little bit of cargo here, fly to this destination to drop off the package that I have the mission for, and maybe sell a little bit of cargo while I'm there, maybe take on some more cargo while I'm there, and then kind of bouncing around while also having to kind of like balance, oh shit, I've had this mission forever and I still haven't dropped off the package. Ah shit, that's going to hurt my reputation. I better make a beeline over there. But then you're thinking like, just that there's
It makes you want to think. But I think we need really
it
good
makes
UI for this, that
you
will
do, yeah.
show you exactly what's happening in your cargo, for example.
You need that better mission manager
Maybe
for
maybe
sure.
you can have it even on one of your MFDs, you know what I mean? Like you switch one of
That'd be
your
cool.
MFDs to cargo, whatever, and expiration, whatever.
Yeah. Well, and on top of that too, like you're gonna need, like you're gonna need the ability to like buy a cargo manifest for the star system, for example. So like so that you have a list either in your MFD or in your Glass that shows you like, you know, in game without having to go to a third party website what outpost sells what or whatever, within obviously
Oh
within a
yeah, yeah, the
certain amount
trader
of
app,
time,
yeah.
because
Yeah.
obviously it's going to like change over time and stuff like that. But I guess that's that's kind of it. Is I just right now deliveries, even when they were working okay, are pretty much mindless, and I want them to be more involved.
I
And
I
what
don't know, man. There was a point where I really enjoyed them, though.
Sure, and that's because you were
Like
like, okay,
really.
pick up this mission here, and then like
I would
you
pick up
have
10 of them.
exactly, yeah, and then you're kind of like juggling things around, and I want that back, but I want it to be a little bit more, even more involved, so that you're working your space trucking and your commodity trading into it, like formulating
Yeah,
these kind of like
but you could
these
because
complex routes, and also like drawing on your knowledge of the system as a player, um
they were so
like that.
close to, because if you think about it this way, so FTL is a company from Microtech. Povalex
Mhm.
is company, I think, from Crusader. And then there was another one I don't fucking remember anymore. There were these like 4,000 missions with some other name. And
Red Wings or
Red
whatever.
Wings or something like that. Some wings, yeah. and if they did it so that if you pick up an FTL mission, you are delivering it to Microtech, and if you pick up Colex mission, those are delivered to.
That depended on where you were when you picked up that FTL mission.
Yeah,
Because if you
only
picked up an
no,
FTL mission in like ArcCorp, it
it would
would
still go
be
to Mike. No, you're wrong.
no, it wasn't always in Microtech.
It was. It was. So that was a
Not
specific patch. I did. That was all my
okay.
content, man.
Well, buddy, this may have been before you started playing then, because
But
absolutely you
buddy,
could get
before I
FTL
started
missions.
playing, there was no Microtech, you motherfucker.
Well, that's what I mean. Like before that, like there were FTL
Sure.
missions you could pick up
No, it's
anywhere.
not the way I'm telling you it is now. Like
Mm,
that's what I'm saying. So when Microtech came, they changed it, which was my favorite part. They changed it so that every FTL mission you pick up from like different location, but you deliver them all on rooftops of Microtech. So I would pick
okay.
up 10. I would fly all over Stanton,
Yeah.
sorry, Crusader, and then I would fly to Arcorp. I would pick up everything there. I would fly to Hurston. I pick up all of that there, and then I would 30k. But if I don't 30k, I would jump to Microtech and then roof to roof to roof. I even had the crew of like 3 people in a fucking Cutlass Black, because they can
Of
like
course.
jump out and like deliver, and I keep going and the other person delivers and I fly back, pick them up, go to the next roof. And it
Did
was
they
so fucking good.
did they still expire when you were doing them? Because that was the other thing is FTL missions when I was doing
No,
delivery
no, no. They were
missions.
not timed.
Though they were ones where like they would expire quicker than your other missions, and if
Well,
you
yeah,
didn't do them before you
makes
did your other
sense.
missions, they would just basically auto fail.
Because FTL faster than light, obviously.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
no, but
Like
but I
there was a
like
reason
that
that you were getting paid
because
like
think
eight
about it.
grand a pop for them.
If you knew you're delivering all these missions to Microtech roofs, and then all these other missions to Orison, whatever area, and then all these others to like rooftops of ArcCorp, then you can easily pick up cargo as well, right? And because you're going to TDD and
Mm.
you deliver all your shit, and then you land, sell in TDD, and then you're going to the next destination, which is like Orison, and they need whatever there. So I mean, it would be great. There's so much potential, but then what they did, they just turned it off. It was there for a month. It was great. People were doing it, and they just like,
Mm.
bye.
The thing that stings the most about this is I still remember Luke Presley coming on video and talking about delivery mission improvements and how they were going to, take delivery missions and just make them better, more interesting. And what the fuck was that? You literally killed them. Nobody does them anymore.
I
Congratulations.
love them, and
You
I can't
improved.
do them anymore. It's so sad. I was theory crafting which ship is the best, like small ships, large ship, which quantum drive, everything about fucking delivery missions, and I had so much fun
Mhm.
with it.
Yeah.
We had someone from my community made the logo Chegex with all the like orange and purple and whatnot, and it was just like that was my thing, man, and they just killed it.
Yep.
But yeah, I can
But
only
I
hope
suppose
that these are step in the right direction. Although right now it doesn't like feel like that,
yeah.
but maybe.
Well, and this is I guess the way I have to look at this, and it's something that they constantly tell us as well, is um we only see the portion that they have finished and playable. And I think you were right there in saying like this is a step in the right direction, because I feel like they what we have now, if I'm going to go and put on my white knight hat a little bit, will probably make more sense when the parts are together a little bit better, like, because I do like the idea of there being some delivery missions where you have to pick up, from 3 locations and deliver to a location. At the same time there should be single
Oh,
delivery missions,
oh, for
like
sure. It's just like the
like pri-
payment needs to be there, or
totally, like priority
reputation,
cross.
right? Because
Yes,
you
yeah.
have the missions where you have to go and clean out the shit, right? That's also delivery mission. I mean, you go there, pick up 3 packages, and then you throw it somewhere, or you sell it and dispose or whatever. But if that's like if you start cleaning the garbage and then through reputation you level up to Wings mission, which is
Yeah.
like 4,000, and then you level up to Kovalix missions, which and then you level up to FTL missions, and then you level up to
Yeah.
quantum sensitive ones, and everything is paid more and more and more. You get
Or
livers,
like,
whatever. It all makes
yeah.
sense, right?
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I'm willing to to take a lower paycheck if it's what I got to do to kind of
Of
like
course,
progress,
100%.
or if there's like an additional perk to it. You know what I mean?
Hey,
Like,
someone has to do it, right?
yeah. But
But you got to prove yourself. Yeah, I agree 100%. I agree.
like I think that honestly is the way they go. They're
Tell
they
us though,
intend to go.
why hiding? Okay, so this is what I don't understand.
Yes. Ah,
This
this
is
is basically
not
the subject of every podcast.
well, yes,
Why?
but especially this because this is not 100% delivering fucking uh SSCU will not be gameplay for Squadron 42. You know what I mean? Especially not with progression. I don't think so. So why are is someone not coming there and telling us, hey, this is the progression of delivery missions that we are aiming for?
I don't know, but also now that I'm thinking about that, and I absolutely could see there being a situation in Squadron
No,
42 where you have
of
to deliver a
course.
package.
No, you will be delivering the package, but it will be tied into a
Yeah,
story, not like you
totally.
building
Yeah,
up
yeah,
the
yeah,
reputation
exactly.
to deliver more packages. Like, come
Yeah,
on.
yeah. It'll be for a mission,
Yeah.
but I guess like what I was thinking is like, oh, I guess that would make sense why they're actually like, you know, building out these mechanics, not only necessarily for the PU. I could see that mechanic being utilized in Squadron 42.
100%. Well, look at Xenotrat. Like,
Yeah,
I'm sure that's gonna be part of similarly in Squadron 42. Okay, Maso. As promised, this is a short one.
yeah.
Do we have any questions? Maybe.
Uh, no.
No. All right. Cool.
I have to just for everybody. I don't know. Like usually, I will do like a science section for this where I talk about like something that Star Citizen does either well or terribly, just from like a kind of a scientific perspective. I can't do it today, you guys. I just can't do it. I don't have the brain power for this topic. I do have a topic, and I've kind of had a hot take on this already in the comments of Paul Shelley's new lore podcast and on Captain's Table, not last, yeah, last week. Wait, was it last
It
week?
was last
Was that
week.
on
Yeah.
Captain's Table last week?
Yeah. It was last week.
Yeah, okay. Last week, yep. Uh, this
it,
is going
the way
perfectly.
I put it, like we can have that next week, and in my mind, we could either do it a little bit shorter, which still is a 2-hour show, or we could have skipped this because you can't like these are the issues that you can't control. So I think it's okay. We still had a really
Yeah,
good
of
episode. I
course it
enjoyed
is.
it. I mean,
Sure.
now
Anyways,
maybe you're
all I
gonna get
wanted to
some
say is,
sleep.
yeah, well, probably not. That's the problem with my body is like once I'm awake until I like physically can't hold my eyes open anymore.
You don't seem
Which
to be far
by the
away from that
Yeah,
state
no,
now.
I'm definitely approaching that state.
Yeah.
So we will see. Anyways, what I was trying to say is usually I do that section, but I just can't do it right now. I do have something that is going to be kind of fun to talk about. So tune in next week. Um,
Yeah.
and I'll do it then. But yeah, right now not so much.
You want to tease the name of it?
Oh, it's specifically on the subject of overpopulation and resource exploitation in a interstellar empire.
Board
And
Gamer and Xenia don't touch this. It's copyrighted.
oh, I mean,
I'm
sure,
kidding. I'm kidding.
yeah. uh, basically, um, basically, one of the themes that is arising in Star Citizen's lore is the fact that humanity in the UEE is running out of space. Like they need more planets to settle. Planets are overpopulated and they're chewing through resources too quickly. And
It just makes no
uh,
sense because of how
it
big the planet is. resources.
Exactly. It's just like
I
an
do have
interstellar.
counter questions. I'll,
Yes.
but I don't want to do it now. I have
No, because I
counterpoints.
can't answer them
I
right
know, I
now.
know, I
But
know. So let's keep it for the
but
next week because this
yeah,
will be a longer one, and I can't wait for it. Honestly.
it'll be interesting, and it'll give me some time to actively brush up on some of the numbers kind of
Mhm.
behind this. But basically, the long and the short of it is like scientists and futurists have broken this subject down and go into the actual math behind like how many people can you actually fit on a planet, how
Our
how
planet.
many
Yeah.
resources are actually in a solar system. And yeah, spoiler alert, the reality is that even in our current solar system there are so many resources and so much potential living spaces that you would N like, for tens of thousands of years, you would not be dealing with overpopulation. But we'll go into the math and we'll do some counter questions back and forth and stuff like that next week. I guess I just spoiled it.
That's okay.
Spoiler alert,
Yeah,
it's not a
it's
real
easy.
thing and Star Citizen doesn't do it very well. But yeah, we'll
I mean, maybe they'll change it over the course. Maybe they'll give. I have.
we will
I
see. Yeah.
as I said, I have some counterpoints there, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Um,
And yeah.
I'm not gonna let you talk anymore because you need to. You need a break, bro.
Yes, I
I'll
do.
be kind enough, and I will do your part this time. If you guys
What
like
did you do?
the
Oh, yeah.
show, I'm gonna ask you to kindly like it and subscribe, and even more important, share to other people who you might think would enjoy it. At the same time, if you, we also do Stanton, Stanton gossip every Wednesday. So if you have any videos that you would like to share with us, drop them in the comments here or in our latest episode of that show. And yeah, thank you for being here with us. It's always a pleasure. Have a great rest of your day and see you in the verse or on YouTube. Take care.
Bye.